Hi everyone, Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. You'll all remember Glenda Lex. She's back with me today with another book. She's so amazing and I can't wait to talk to you today. Hi Glenda, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Teresa. Thanks for having me back. I appreciate that.
I love it. You've always been wonderful and I'm thrilled that you were able to do another book. So let's pull up the new one.
So the new book is entirely different than my first book.
Okay.
And this one is called The Adventures of My Hilarious Amish Friend and I. And if you recognize my Amish friend from the cover, she was on Breaking Amish and Return to Amish on the TLC network for a number of years. She had a show on there, a very successful show. And so we were became friends over the years, and I everybody always asks, like, you two are so different, how are you guys best friends? And so I start the book by telling you how we became best friends, but long story short, my friend, as you if you know Mary, Mama Mary is what she goes by, her celebrity name. We everybody calls her Mama Mary, even like her own kids. So if you know Mama Mary, you know that she has been struggling with colon cancer for a little while now, and she was placed on hospice. So how this book came about was I would go to visit her at her home when she was on hospice, and I would write the little stories to her of all of the funny things we had done over the years on all the adventures that we'd taken. And so when I'd go to visit her, I would read her them. And Mary told me, "Oh my goodness, these are so uplifting and funny. They make me laugh, and I need that." She says, "You should put it in a book, all these little stories." And so I said, "Mary, I don't want to write another book. Like, I really am not an author." And she said, "Yes, you are. You're an author." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess technically I am." So, and I knew it meant a lot to her. So I put these 30 short stories, and some of them are hilarious, in the book, as memories of my friend. The day that I went to tell her that I had finished it and I was going to, it was going to be on Amazon. I was so excited to tell her. Her daughter had called. I was 20 minutes from her house, and her daughter had called to tell me that she had passed away.
I'm so
So
sorry.
I had was so happy that I did the book at that time because I
Mhm.
knew it meant a lot to her family, to her fans. And it was something that we would have, because you don't remember all of the things that you have in a relationship with anyone. And so
No.
to have this, I was so glad that she encouraged me to do it, because it just brings her spirit back to life again.
Yeah.
And it's just heartwarming story. I'll read you the back description so that you
Okay.
know.
That'd be
Um,
great.
yeah. So, and I can show you the back of the book too. You can see the
Sure.
back
Yeah. Oh,
there.
actually, what's the front name? Give the whole title of that book. Yeah. So, The Adventures of Hilarious Amish Friend and I. So that's the front, and then the back. Go ahead and read that.
So then that's the back. So,
Okay.
um, and I added to it after she had passed. I hurried up and added some memorials to her,
Sure.
the book. I'll read the back of it. It says, "The Adventures of My Hilarious Amish Friend and I." Glenda takes readers on a delightful journey through her unlikely friendship with an Amish woman who defines every expectation. What starts as a simple acquaintance soon turns into an adventure filled with laughter, cultural mishaps, and eye opening moments that challenge everything Glenda thought she ever knew about the Amish way of life. From buggy rides to late night conversations, their bond proves true friendship has no boundaries. Glenda finds herself navigating a world without conveniences, while her Amish friend discovers the quirks of the English lifestyle. That's what they call us. They call us English.
Oh, okay.
You're not Amish, you're English.
Okay.
Sometimes with wildly funny results. Through their shared experiences, these two women forge an unbreakable connection that transcends tradition, faith, and the occasional bout of chaos. But beneath the humor lies a deeper message about acceptance, understanding, and the beauty of stepping outside one's own comfort zone.
Sure.
The Adventures of My Hilarious Amish Friend and I is more than just a collection of short stories about two unlikely companions. It is a heartfelt celebration of friendship, the joy of embracing life's unexpected moments, and realizing that we are all more alike than that we are different.
I love that.
So it's a story about a friendship and the funny things that we have done along the way and how I became in front of the book. I tell you, there's really funny stories in the front of the book about how we met and how we became best friends. And so those are, it's in here and you'll hear that. But she Amish, obviously, she didn't drive a car and she needed to be driven to all these places to film for the show.
Oh, okay.
So I would drive her. I would drive her to all these places that she would need to go to film for the show.
Was she a neighbor or something of yours?
No,
How
she
did?
was not. She was not. I talk about that at the beginning of the book. It's really funny how we met.
Oh, okay, okay. You're gonna keep
So,
that a secret so we can buy
well,
it.
that it, yeah, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah,
Just only
no, no, it's okay. It's
it's
okay.
a really good part, and it's
Yeah,
like
I
starts
want to
the whole
read it.
story. But I do want to read to you some of the, like, well, at least one of the
Okay,
short stories in here, so you get an
sure.
idea of what it's about. And then, of course, there's pictures as we go through. So I'll read you. I mean, there's a lot of pictures. I taught her how to drive a car. Oh my goodness, that was hilarious.
I
Um,
bet.
the car. I'll show you this. This is the car that. This is the sports car that Mary loved. Thank heavens she never got it. But this is the sports car that she wanted to buy when
Oh,
she
I
learned.
love it.
I taught her how to drive. Oh, I hated it. I wish I would never taught her how to drive. Every time after I taught her how to drive, we'd be going and, I was the one, it was my car. So I'm the one driving. She would say, Glenda, watch out, watch out. Don't forget there's a red light coming up. You can turn right on red. You can, you can stop. Oh my gosh, keep your distance. I'm like, why did I ever teach you to drive?
I love that.
She drove me nuts, is what she drove me. But we had a lot of fun and a lot of adventures on it. So I will read you this story
Please
that,
do. I think that'd be great.
yeah, I'll read you this one anyway. So this one is chapter 19. Like I said, there's 30 short stories. So
Okay.
this one is called Stomach Trouble. I named it. So we had stopped for gas heading back from the cottage. I have a little cottage, and how one of the things is that my cottage is right past where she lives. So I'm
Oh,
always going back and forth through Punxsutawney, PA. So if anybody's ever heard of the groundhog or anything, that's the place. I drive right past Punxsutawney on my way to my little cottage on the weekends. So anyway, so we stopped for gas heading back from the cottage and got some burritos for lunch. By the time we made it back to Mary's house, my stomach was groaning. I ran inside to use the bathroom, and when I came out, Mary was standing there holding a big slice of a potato. Thanks, I said, but I don't think I can eat that right now. She chuckled and said, Oh, no, you don't eat it, you insert it. I said, Now what? Mary then says, Up the rear, it works every time. I told her, I think I'll just stick to my Tums. As Mary walked away, I shook my head and thought, There is no way I am trying that. I laid down on the couch for a while, looking at the potato on the table lying next to me, thinking, well, maybe. My stomach eventually settled down, but not until Mary told me it would have been a lot sooner if you'd have tried to use my potato. So the Amish do have a lot of these things that they're
yeah.
like that they
Natural.
and they swear by them. And so that was just one of the incidents that she told me that I should use her potato. I never used her potato. I just had the Tums that I had in my purse and I was fine. But
Yeah.
these are little things that we had throughout our friendship and things like that. Here's one. So when we would travel around, Mary, she always, I don't know how she liked her drinks. She was not alcoholic or nothing like that, but she always thought it was fun to have a fancy drink.
Sure.
She liked to try different fancy drinks. So I don't really drink that much. Plus, I'm her driver, so I
Oh,
really
yeah.
can't, right? So that kind of worked out good. So here you had a buy one get one at this one place. So there she is, buy one get one. She's,
Oh,
I'll
I
get
love it.
one for you, buy one get one. And I said, well, I can't drink it. She says, I guess I'm having both of them,
I
one in each hand. So there she is with one
love it.
in
She
each hand.
sounds like such a fun person.
She was a blast. She was such a blessing. She was such a blast. if to know her was to love her. They say that about people, and she definitely was one of those people. But our lives were so similar, but yet so different at the same time.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's just, really, really, I can read you this one. This is one of the ones. It's chapter 2. It's not the very beginning of the book, but it's close to the beginning of the book. So I can show you this. So there was a restaurant that restaurant just closed. I
Oh,
can't believe it. They had the best food. It was sort of just like a family diner. And they just closed it like last month. I was so sad because we loved that place. It was inexpensive and the food was great. But anyway, so that's the place that we would always, I met her there a couple of times just traveling back and forth because it was her favorite restaurant too. But anyway, I'll read you this, another little short one out of here so that you get a feel for what the book is. It says, Chapter 2, You're Gonna Die, Mom. Scrolling through Facebook, I came upon a message Mary had posted stating that she needed a ride to Blairsville. I guess you can't take a horse on the buggy or on the highway. I can't take a horse and a buggy on the highway. Anyway, I would be going through Punxsutawney again on my way back from my cottage, and I offered to give her a ride that direction. So we agreed to meet at none other than our favorite restaurant. I explained what kind of car I drove and that it was white. Mary had no clue of what car she would be in because it all depended on who she could get her to give her a ride. That is Mary, always flying by the seat of her pants. No surprise, I am the same. Her daughter told her she would take her to meet me, and all the way there, she told her, Mom, she could be a serial killer. You're going to die. Remember, Mom, always growing up, you told us not to take rides from strangers, and here you are. And so I met her in the back of that restaurant. I guess I didn't look like a serial killer. And so off we were. But where are we going? I had no idea, just that I was dropping her off somewhere in Blairsville. When we got going, I asked her, Where are you going anyway? And she told me she wanted to go to a big Tupperware party. She said she was thinking of signing up to sell some Tupperware. We started talking, and I told her I remember growing up, my mom having a Tupperware party for the neighborhood ladies. She told me I should go with her because they are demonstrating all sorts of items and passing out food samples. They were also playing Tupperware bingo, and I love to play bingo. So I said, Oh, it sounds like fun. And I stayed with her for the party. As the evening progressed, Mary decided that selling Tupperware would be the perfect fit for her. They even had hand mixers that you could use a string to pull to make them go and mix things, and you didn't need electricity. Perfect for an Amish lady who likes to cook. Now all I needed was someone to host a party for me, Mary said. I told her good excuse for a party, if you ask me. I was always looking for a reason to entertain and have family and friends over. So these two silly ladies were on an adventure, and oh, the places it would take us.
I love it. What you know what I'm feeling is all the love that you had together. Just that love, the friendship. We all have those friends that in life, if you're lucky enough and blessed enough to have someone that's wonderful, close and fun like that, and to have the adventures that you did and to laugh, that's honestly, Glenda, that's a blessing in itself.
It truly is. And I just think that, she had so many fans on the show. And, you always wonder, are these celebrities like they are on TV, or are they like you hear it? How are they in real life? There was no real life. Like everything was real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she never had an air about her. I mean, when we would be out and things like that, I used to tease her that she owed me money because I was her photographer. Because every time fans would see her, they'd say, Oh, can I take a picture? Well, I was always the one with her. So I was always the photographer taking the pictures and
I
everything.
love it.
And so I used to tease her about that. But she was just the sweetest, warmest person. And just a heart of gold. And you know what I love so much about my friend Mary is that she never judged anyone ever, no matter what. And she would always say, I'm not here to be a judge. And, the Lord will take care of that. And I just love people for where they are and for how they are. And I'm not to judge. And when she got diagnosed with the cancer and she was on hospice, me being a nurse, it was very hard for me. I mean, I know what they go through and things like that. And I remember towards the end, her telling me, holding my hand and telling me, I said, Mary, just you're not in pain, right? You're okay. Because I knew that the most important thing was that she would be pain free. And she held my hand and she looked at me and she said, Glenda, I'm not afraid. God is good. Her
Oh,
faith held her through everything. She said, don't worry about me. I'm not afraid. God is good. And I will, that will always stay with me. Um, she was just such a wonderful person. And people would ask her what she thought of people that maybe that they were gay or if they were, whatever. Like, what do you think is going to happen to them in heaven or something like that? And she would always say, I love people for how they are and how they treat me. And I'm not the judge. I'm just, if they treat me good, I treat them good. And I love everyone for however they are. And, that's not my place to be the judge. I'm just to be here to, support them and love them. And she was just wonderful. And I miss her dearly. I miss her so much. But I'm so glad she told me to write this book.
yeah.
If we sell 1 million copies or we sell 10 copies or whatever, it just is a true, heartwarming, uplifting story about two unlikely companions.
Yeah, the fact that so first, I'm so sorry for your loss, Glenda, and I'm sorry for the world's loss. I know. Now, the show she was on, it was called Breaking Amish, and what
Break
else did you say?
Amish and Breaking Amish and Return to Amish. It was on TLC. And actually,
I do remember those shows. I do.
they
Um,
were reality shows. You know,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
premise of the show is that when she had, she had a number of children, and when they get to a certain age in the Amish community, they can leave for a year and they can go out and try the English world as like what we are. And they can see if they want to come back to be Amish or if they
Oh,
decide they
okay.
want
I
to
didn't
stay
know
to be
that.
English. And if they decide to come back to be Amish, they're taken back with open arms, no, excuse me, no questions asked. And if they decide not to come back, that's their decision. But they have that year, and it's like when they're young teenagers to go out for a year to see what it's like in the, I guess you could say, rural
Sure.
world, whatever. If it's something that they want. And the funny thing is that most of them do go back to being Amish. They do. Most of them after that year do go back. Now there are some that do not, but they decide that they would rather be English is what they call us, and so they stay English. But there are a lot of them that do actually go back. But I learned a lot about the Amish community. One of the things I have to say is that she was shunned during the show's production,
Oh,
broke her. She always told me, Glenda, I knew I was doing something maybe that I shouldn't have. They're not allowed to have their pictures taken or to be on camera.
I
So
was not aware of
yeah, they're not allowed. Most Amish communities are not, they don't agree with that. So
that.
the fact that I have all these pictures is because she was being shunned at the time. Her community shunned her, which meant that she wasn't allowed to attend church with them
Oh,
um, until she was back into good standing. And the reason they shunned her, and Mary said, I know that what I did, I know that I was going to get punished, but she wanted to go and follow her kids and check up on her kids
oh, okay.
during that year. And so she was part of the show during that time when she was going to check on her kids. And because she was on the show, then they shunned her um, for a little while. They did take her back into good standing. She did what they asked her to. And actually, they even had couple weeks before she passed, the Amish community had a wonderful fundraiser for her and a
Oh,
big dinner
nice.
because her husband wasn't able to work for a long time because he was at home taking care of her. So there was there was a need there, and so the Amish community did come around in the end, and they did accept her back. So she actually, left in good standing with the community. So that was wonderful. But anyway, so she's just, everybody calls her Mama Mary, because she was the mom that, no matter what, no matter what religion you are or anything, mom's intuition, right? We're never, no matter what, not going to be there for our kids,
No.
and so that just, and she was no different.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't matter that she was on a show. Honestly, the stories just radiate love that she had for the world and for each other. And someone who's that giving and kind, they just shine through no matter what. And she's probably, if I dare say, an angel kind of watching out for you now. And Glenda, you were blessed with a friendship that is transcends time. It's like a spiritual angel that you have. So that's
I Yeah, and I think that, what, like, even like you said, whether she was a celebrity or not, I mean,
doesn't
for me,
matter.
just Mary. But I think that, you know, anybody that has a girlfriend,
Yeah,
that could sit and read this and just say, could you, oh my gosh, we thought we were bad, do you remember, look at these two and the stuff that they did, and, like, you can just, it's just a good, feel good girlfriend book, it's just,
absolutely.
you know, a funny, story or something. And what the reason I like this book a lot is because you don't have to read the whole thing from front to back. The other book that I wrote that we talked about earlier, I think people say when they pick it up, they don't put it down. They read the whole book from front to bottom. They can't, they just can't put it down. This book's entirely different because you can just pick it up and read like a little story like I did and
Yeah.
then put it down. And then, you're sitting there having your cup of morning coffee and you just want to have a good smile, you can pick it up and read another little story about it. There's a lot of pictures throughout it. And like I said, the pictures were taken during that time period where she was being shunned. So the pictures, she was being shunned anyway. And so you have to laugh because Mary said, well, I'm being shunned anyway. I might as well do all the bad stuff that I always thought I made
Get
fun of
it
people.
over with.
Like, oh, no, 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 no. Well,
It
I'm not
sounds
going to
like
go crazy now, Mary. Like, just because you're, well, I'm being shunned anyway, so I might as well do all these crazy things I was going to do anyway. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. So we just had a lot of fun together, and I do miss her dearly. I hope that anybody that knew her or anybody that just has a good girlfriend friendship or just wants a fun little book to read, uplifting little stories. It's on Amazon as well as my first book that I wrote. So they're both on Amazon and available. This one I just released this one about a week ago, so it's brand new. The other one's only been out for about both
oh,
of them.
so it's just been released. Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
good to know.
both.
I wanted to ask you because we didn't ask you in the first episode. I know you've written two books now. Are you doing book signings, Glenda?
Yeah, I did do one book signing because I was requested to do it at a public library last weekend. Actually, I did, and I mean, I don't know. I guess if there was a big enough, demand for it, I could go to Punxsy. I'm always in and out of Punxsy, and so I'd be happy to stop there and sign this book here because it starts and ends in Punxsutawney, PA.
Oh, oh, nice.
So that is, a lot of the places I talk about Groundhog Day in the book. And so it has a lot of ties into Punxsutawney. So I would do that. And then this other book that I wrote that we talked about earlier, this book here is based out of Pittsburgh. So, so yeah, I would do it. I mean, if I was asked to, of course I would. I mean, I would love to. I love to meet people and talk to people. And I mean, I'm new to all of this, so I'm not sure how that all works. I was asked to go to a library. That's where I was last weekend and did a book signing at the Monroeville Library. From anybody that's from around the Pittsburgh area, I was there last weekend.
So, Mary, I know you had the first book up there. Can you just pull it up again, just to remind everyone? It was called The
This
Doctor,
is
the Wife, the Mistress, and the Girlfriend, right?
right. This is I would call a love. It's definitely a love triangle, and
Yeah.
kind of
And you did say the two books are completely different. So everyone watching the show, and you've probably seen the first episode, this one's a completely different book about Glenda's journey with her friend Mary. And boy, you told us some beautiful stories. But just so you know, Glenda does have the two books out. I know the first one was a bestseller, and I'm sure this one's going to do amazing.
it actually bestseller as well. The second book,
Oh,
they're both.
beautiful. I didn't know it because you just said you
Yeah,
just
see, that
watched it.
that actually became a bestseller as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
it
job.
was, English was always my worst subject in school, to be honest.
Was
Um,
it? Because you're a nurse. Are you
I'm
still,
a nurse,
you're still
RN.
a nurse?
I still work. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
just do this, that first book was a passion project of mine. And I felt like I needed to do it. I just had so many people, for my friends that were there for me. Maria's was one of them throughout
Oh,
I
so
guess.
Mary was your friend while you were going through all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that
I,
something?
I could say, like, my first book, Mary was there throughout all of it. And
Oh,
so, but she wasn't the only friend. I had a number of friends that were there for out the whole, my whole first book that I wrote, and the whole thing. And everybody said, you need to tell your story. You need to tell your story. I'm like, I don't know how to even tell my story. I'm not an author. I don't ever wrote a book. English is my worst subject. I'm a nurse. And I thought, you know what? I have to do it. There's editors that can help and this and that. But I actually, when I wrote it, was really excited because I used a publisher just to make sure I did things right. And they ran it through some program, and they said that I got like a 9 out of 10 on my first thing. And I'm like, wow. And she said, yeah, anything a 7 and above, you're good to go. But I said, well, why didn't they give me a 10? And so she gave me a couple recommendations and more character development and stuff. So I did go back in the first book and add some more. It wasn't anything was wrong. They just wanted more.
right.
So I
Right.
went back and I added some more details and things like that, about it. And I still have people that said that they want more of the first book. There's a
Oh,
lot more I could say, but I didn't want to just put I tried really hard not to bash the ex. We have children together, and I didn't really.
yeah, and I think your instincts you have to go with, Glenda, because as we discussed in the first episode when we did it with you, you were very kind and you definitely protected your family. And I think that was the right thing to do. And as you continue on, I think you can take good solace in knowing that you have a big heart and you're a good person and you didn't lower yourself. And I think that's the most important. And a friend like Mary and the friends that you had, your support group, they're there for you. And as you said, you've established a whole new life for yourself and you're happy. So I think that's, we kind of draw the line on, okay, it happened. We got through it. You've helped so many other readers, and now you're living a whole new life.
Right. And I think that Mary's story is inspirational just as
Yeah.
much because her life was, so different than mine, but yet her story is so similar. It's like, the beauty of like a friendship, and that she can be so strong, and all the, facing her health issues and everything like that, and everything that she's been through. Obviously, it's different than what I've been through, but we went through it all together. And so it's the second book, when she asked me to do it, because I was, like I said, visiting her, I wrote these little funny things so I could talk to her, because some days she was just too weak. She was there, but she wasn't able to talk to me back. So I'm like talking to myself. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. I'll just write little short stories to read to her. So that's how this book became to be. And then she wanted it to be so that her family would have these memories
Yeah.
down the road, and then wanted to share it in case anybody else wanted to. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing a second book. Nobody better ask me to do a third one.
Yeah, but there might be a third one in the works.
I think there may be. I like to do a lot of parties. I've entertained my whole life. And I always have parties with friends and family. That's what makes me the happiest, to spend my time, creating moments and memories for people. So I'm thinking I might do one about entertaining. I have a bunch of really funny tips with that. So
Oh, that would be fun.
yeah, it'll be different, but it'll be a fun one. It's funny because so many of my friends say that they won't entertain because their house is dirty. I have a lot of tips and tricks about how to deal with that. And just, it'll be a funny, and a lot of different things about just entertaining in today's world, because we're all busy,
Yeah.
right? We're all so busy. And so maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see. That's yet to come.
It'd be nice though. I think you would do an amazing job with it, Glenda. I think you would just absolutely be another bestseller coming
Oh,
up.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm pushing my luck to begin with here, but I do enjoy writing in my spare time, and they keep me busy at the hospital and working, and so between that, I don't have a lot of extra time, but I do enjoy writing and sharing stories and things, and so, I mean, I've always been like artistic. I do like home embroidery, and I do like to do crafts, and I like to build stuff, and
Yeah.
oh, I do all kinds of stuff. I'm a huge Disney fan, so if anybody's watching, they can. I just uploaded my first ever YouTube video. This is a little bit off the topic, but I just uploaded my first YouTube video ever. So you can
Oh,
Pittsburgh Disney House. I made a little video and it's called the Pittsburgh Disney House. And it's some of the stuff that I built from scratch and created. And I put it into a little video that if you like Disney, you might want to watch it.
yeah, you'll have to give me the link for that. We'll put it on the show notes as
Ah,
well.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We'll put it on the show notes for you, Glenda. That's
Okay.
wonderful.
If
Yeah.
anybody like me, I'm a huge Disney fan. I love Disney. You
Oh, I
know,
think it'd be fun.
yeah, it just, it's just a happy place. So I
Yeah.
like me. But anyway, I appreciate you so much again for having me on. Like I said, life is, not always fair, but you just keep going and just do the best you can with what you've been given and wake up every day and just be thankful for the day, and
Yeah, you're an inspiration to so many people. Glenda, like I agree with you. You have to keep going in life. Life was never meant to be fair. It's to teach us lessons and to take what we learn and build a whole new world and help other people so they can see if you're strong, your family sees you're strong, they can do it. Or if someone is going through it, if they're going through a hard time, they say, okay, Glenda went through it, but I can get through it too. A friend like Mary, she's just going to relate to all the friendships out there, and everybody's going to say, you know what? I'm pretty blessed. I have a Mary in my life and a Glenda in my life too.
I,
So
yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that if you have even just one friend
Yeah,
like that in your life, you're so, so lucky.
it's
And
true.
I mean, without her and my other friends, my girlfriends, I don't know if I would have got through the first book,
Yeah.
like with everything that I had been through. So, I mean, I just think that I'm very, very blessed to have such wonderful women in my life that are so strong and so sincere and that are there to lift you up when you need it. And Mary was definitely one of those friends. You know, I don't know what I would if I would have gotten through everything without her and a bunch of my other girlfriends. So that's what I said. That's the reason I wrote the books. I feel like I kind of like owe it. I want to be there for the next person. So I hope that my books, both of my books, are entirely different. One is kind of uplifting and funny. The other one's, I guess you could call it a tragedy. I don't know what you would call that one. A love triangle for sure. But it tells a story about my life. I hope that people find inspiration in both of the books for different reasons and get them on Amazon. So I'm excited. I can't even believe that I'm like officially an author. Like I still go into work. I'm working tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Yeah.
So see me at the hospital.
I wanted to say too, as a nurse, thank you for your service because
Oh, thank
that is a profession that we need. And I'm very grateful that you are. And I know the world's grateful for the beautiful nurses that are out there inside and out. You're just doing an amazing job. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I have to say that the group of nurses that I work with, they're wonderful people. They really are. They're all of the nurses that I've met in my career that I have worked with. I mean, they truly are there for the right reasons. I mean, they're just wonderful people. It's just, I love being a nurse. I love the people that I work with and my coworkers and things. They're just wonderful people. And so I'm very blessed. I feel that way. I picked the right profession, but I guess now I have two.
That's right. And your personality shines through, and I'm sure they love working with you too. And I have loved every minute of our talk show with you, Glenda. You're just such
Uh,
a pleasant person. And I'm hoping, again, you'll come back another time and we'll be able to see and catch up to where you are then.
oh, it was so wonderful for you to have invite me and to have me on, Teresa. It was wonderful to meet you. I feel like I met a new friend.
Oh,
And
oh, that makes me happy. I think the same thing about you. I feel like I've known you forever.
well, I thank you so much again. And I hope everybody that's watching subscribes.
Yes,
Put the
absolutely.
back on and everybody else that you're having.
Oh, thank you, Glenda. So to everyone, this is Glenda Lex. So you want to get her books on Amazon. I'll make sure in the show notes, all her information's here, her links, and her new YouTube. So you'll be able to go and check out her Disney show. From here, this is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. I hope you're all having a great day. Do subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you all very soon.